10 seconds remaining.
Good evening, welcome to a night of Dota 2, and even though it was not going to be a night of Dota 2, as in it was going to be a half a night of Dota 2, because there was only going to be one game at first. Wrong! We've got ourselves 2 extra games coming up after the one that we're going to watch right now, because we're also going to see Empire versus Power Rangers facing each other twice in the joint Dota League. But first we're going to see an elimination match, because you are of course watching the Yardwide Festival, and for that we've got ourselves a match in a loser bracket where Meet Your Makers will take on neXt Gaming, and it's a best of 1 elimination match. Now neXt Gaming has actually been able to beat neXt to get here. Definitely not something to ignore, because they are a very, or from my point of view, a very newish team, in the sense that we haven't really seen them play all that much. The one thing that I want to point out though is that they are so far one of the more enjoyable newcomer teams that I've seen, because even when they picked up something like... They at some point they picked up one of those lineups where you would think, you know, this is going to be boring. So there was an Invoker mid, and there was an anti-mage on the safe lane, farming with a tri lane, and, you know, just not the kind of lineup where you would get all excited from as a caster. But then at the second minute they started ganking. So, yeah, they are, and every single match they have been having a very active early game. I'm hoping to see that from them here as well. And we'll see how Meet Your Makers can deal with that. Meet Your Makers, of course, also in a loser bracket, and they were, well, they were kind of, they got here by beating Ascendance and Hehe United, but it doesn't change the fact they dropped to the loser bracket in their first match against Courage Gaming. And I think more people had higher expectations from them, because I mean that's the upside for neXt Gaming, right? Because a lot of people don't know them. They don't have high expectations, while for Meet Your Makers and no name, you know, the bar is set and you have to just still perform. So we'll see how they do here. They do play with an stand-in today. They have got neXt here with us instead of one of their core players. neXt Gaming is all with their full 5-man lineup. And by the way, for this matchup, I will not be having a co-caster, but for the coming 2, Vikrant will be joining me for Empire versus Power Rangers. So make sure to stick around for those, or you should stick around for those anyway, regardless of co-caster or not, because it's going to be awesome matches. But let's take a look at the draft, as we do have Slark and NyX Assassin removed from the pool by neXt. Meet Your Maker banned out the Bane-Marana combination. I mean, yes, strong heroes. Normally I'd say, you know, ban out one of the two, or ban out the Marana, because Bane is not really that big of a problem. And, well, maybe they have bad experience with it, of course. Enchantress, Nature's Prophet, also removed from the pool. And, of course, Enchantress is one of those heroes that can be getting aggressive very early on in the pool, or early on in the game, I should say. So I agree with that ban. And we have a Clockwork ban out by neXt. But bans don't really matter all that much. We want to see picks. Yes, we already have some picks, but you can see them too. I like the Crystal Main pickup from Meet Your Makers. I mean, a solid pickup, but the Aura is going to be nice for the Invoker as well. And with the 2 pickups that they have right now, they can go any way they want. I mean, Invoker gonna be mid or solo safe lane if there's an aggressive tri lane. So it's not really set in stone about who neXt is here to counter for their mid player, for their mid hero, I should say. While neXt, they've got a Luna and a Rubik. Now, both are not amazing on an aggressive tri lane, so this is most likely going to be a safe duo lane for now, safe tri lane, I would say. Where is the Dota 2 music, by the way? I don't hear it. I want to have the drafting music, sorry. Let's see if we can fix that. Because the sound is here. Oh, look at that. Aha! There it is. It's very soft. But it's there. It is there. We are gonna have a Timber Cell removed as well, so 2 strong offlaners removed from the pool. And neXt has a chance to pick something up. So interesting to note that they ban out 2 very strong offlaners, but I would say like leave very little for themselves in the pool in terms of offlaners. Like if I were them, perhaps ban something else out and pick up the Timber Cell yourself. But I'm curious to see right now what they want to do with their offlane. If they have got some hero in mind, or if they just wanted to remove those 2 because they wanted to go for something else first. They seem to be struggling with their draft regardless, though. they seem to really struggle with their draft, as they take a lot of time to think about it. I like the Rubik Sand King combination, however. I just said that it's possible for them to go aggressive very early on, and with the Rubik lifting someone into the Sand King Burrow Strike, you don't need to wait until the Sand King is level 3 before his Burrow Strike reaches the normal range, or a decent range I should say. So yeah, I like the combination. We'll see how far they get though, because of course a lot is also going to depend on what kind of offlane Meteor Makers go for. As we see a Viper, and still there is so much unknown for Meteor Makers lineup, because we don't know if Viper is mid instead of Invoker. Oh, there goes the Slardar. Now we know a lot more. And with that, I would actually hope to see Viper solo safe lane, Invoker mid, or vice versa. Either one would be okay. And then Slardar on an aggressive tri-lane with a Crystal Maiden and something else. And what I'm interested to seeing here is what is next please is gonna ban out here, because we still, for example, have a Visage in the pool. Very strong support for an aggressive lane as well.
Reserve time.
And oh yes, okay, I am wrong indeed. I just checked the chat, seeing it's a full roster. Shiva is wrong. I was like, wait, what? But then I realized that Ubels Exist, the one that you see there, is actually Unicorn. I recognize his avatar. So yeah, we do have, like, the normal Exist was already there, of course, but Ubels Exist is Unicorn. So yes, full lineup, my bad. And there goes the Visage. So that is going to be a ban that I was expecting, and it makes sense for sure. Meteor Makers haven't used a single second into their bonus time, might decide to use some now, but it looks to me like they have got a fairly solid plan. And now with the Storm Spirit picked up for next please as well, I mean, if the Viper is now going to be in that middle lane, then Storm Spirit is going to have a very tough time, and he really needs the help of the supports right then, of the Rubik and the Sand King. And of course, what we're also lacking is an offlaner for next please. And that's something that we're going to see banned out from Meteor Makers most likely. Now the strong the strongest offlaners, I should say, already banned out by next please, or the strongest, I should say. But there is still I'm Bounty Hunter, Wind Ranger, stuff like that. Yeah, Bristle, Elder Titan. It's all there. It is all there. I wouldn't mind a Bristleback actually. It's pretty decent against the Viper. I mean, the poison ticks will help the Bristleback get some extra stacks, and yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. However, what they like, I'm not convinced. So far, it looks to me like Meteor Makers, they have a plan, they stick to their plan, and so far they've not been stopped in their plan. Next, please, struggles. Elder Titan will be their offlaner, and a Dazzle for the minus armor coming out from Meteor Makers. So even the ban for the Visage, I don't think was really slowing down Meteor Makers, because the Dazzle is probably one that they wanted to go for anyway. With the minus armor strat, we've seen it time and time again, mostly on Rock's Kiss, but other teams have been taking it over as well, of course, because it is just that strong. And of course, a reminder, this is a one-game chance. This is a loser bracket game in the Art White Festival, and there's only one chance for these teams, best of one. If you don't make it, you're out. If you make it, you move on to another best of one. It's a long road, but both of these teams have been, well, have been basically getting, or having a long road in the loser bracket to begin with. Because next, please, also banned out in the, or banned out, what am I saying? Also dropped to the loser bracket in the first winners bracket game that they had. So, winner of this matchup, by the way, will face 4FC. That's going to be their next match in the loser bracket. And we'll see which one of these teams will get the privilege to face them. As we have next please gaming on the Dire side. Synergy will play the Elder Titan. We have got Red Light playing the Luna rather, and it looks like they actually do want to go for an aggressive tri-lane. I'm liking this, but only for the fact that they are dodging an aggressive tri-lane with it, which is probably exactly what they had in mind. Rustvi will play the Rubik. In the middle lane, we have got Keanu playing the Storm Spirit, and Sand King will be played by Illusionist. And so far he's going top. He already has a smoke in his inventory. We know this team for being aggressive. Let's hope that it won't work against them in this game, because if you are aggressive early on against a team with a Dazzle, things might get ugly really fast. Taking a look at who is playing what on the side of Meet Your Maker, already an aggressive observer board placed. We've got ourselves, or not exist, this is actually Unicorn XOXO playing the Slardar. Mini will play the Dazzle. We have got Ace on this Viper. And Evoker played by Exist, and then I'm lacking the Crystal Maiden, who is actually taking a route through the river. Crystal Maiden played by Crit. So that's the entire lineup for Meet Your Makers as well, as curious to see who's going to change lanes first. Well, probably Meet Your Makers. They will have Ace on the safe lane and then Invoker on the middle lane. Up against the Storm Spirit, both would do okay. Both Viper and the Invoker would do okay against the Storm, so just put the Invoker on the middle lane. Perhaps I feel that the Elder Titan would have been an easier matchup for the Viper, assuming that they are thinking that that Viper isn't going to be there. Invis Rune already picked up by the Rubik, scouting out who they will be up against, and it's going to be Mr. Viper. And we already have Crystal Maiden rotating bottom as well. That means that we have 2 dual lanes coming out. Crystal Maiden, of course, a support that is blessed with the possibility to get some jungle farm. Meaning that she's not taking experience away from Ace. She is not sharing the experience on the top lane with 2 others. But she's getting her own levels, her own gold. Doesn't have to worry about that as Luna. This is not an easy lane for her. Yeah, she has higher base damage, and especially with the aura, but the poison attacks can stack up real fast, and this is a pretty scary lane. Rustvi, also, I mean, his telekinesis is pretty great to stop aggression from going off. Of course, you can just lift someone up and drop him down somewhere else. But it has a very long cooldown. You have to be careful for that. You have to be worried that you can't use it in vain, basically. As I do like Illusionist plays right here. I mean, there's no Centaur Wars coming out, and Exist doesn't want to use mana for this. I mean, of course, in theory, you could crush it and their Sandstorm would be over, but yeah. On the bright side, they don't have to worry about having a Burrow Strike yet. So it's just harassment from the Spirit coming out from the Elder Titan. As they force the Crystal Maiden out of the jungle and actually place a ward on the magical bush. Kiano sitting on 6 for 1 here in the middle lane. Exist sitting on 3 for 3. So this Storm Spirit is having a better time here than Exist for the moment. And I mean, this is an Invoker that goes for Quas Wax. However, does have Blades of Attack, so it shouldn't be the attack damage that's causing him to fail. Sand King has rotated, by the way. He has a Burrow Strike, he's level 2. Elder Titan can do well on his own on the top lane. Will be okay, or he should be okay. Rather, that. As we might have a lift soon. We might have a go soon. Crystal Maiden, level 2, or Viper. They don't have the wave with them just yet, though. Frostbite coming out. Luna might actually be the one here in some trouble. Forced to take some regen. In comes Rustvi, but not in time to get a lift off. Not in a proper position anyway. But yeah, this lane, this is why Viper is such a strong hero in the lane. Orbit effects can harass at will without pulling aggro from the creeps. And it's so strong against, especially against a squishy hero like Luna, who has to get quite close. And this might actually be your first blood right here if you continue to dive. Now, in comes the supports right now, but that's just how scary this is. Red Light forced to already use the salve. And that's just 2 Frostbites, and the Frostbites will continue to come out every single time because she has Spectre Aura on level 2, so the mana will keep coming. Nothing can stop her. In the meantime, on the top lane, you just saw it already, this Elder Titan is getting harassed a bit from the lane. Now that they know that Sand King is on the bottom lane, both the Dazzle and the Slardar don't have to be worried about Burrow Strikes coming out of the jungle or something like that. So they can play a bit more aggressive. However, Elder Titan should be fine. Should be able to get last hits with his Spirit anyway. I think the next please did a really good job at making sure that they have a decent lane though, because the lane for them would be worse against the Slardar Dazzle. I mean, last hit wise, Luna is sitting on 12 last hits. Viper on 12 as well, but at least Luna is not that far behind. It's not behind, rather. Slardar still doing better. Slardar actually the highest last hitter, and that's the first blood right there. Dazzle coming in from the side lane. And helps out Exist to take the first blood. Sorry for missing that, people. Apologies. phase boots now up for exist, and this should put him in a very good spot. We rotate back towards this top lane because it looks like they want to make a go on this Crystal Maiden right here. In comes a lift as well, but it's gonna be Ace that tries to get a counter kill here. The Sandstorm will make sure the Illusionist is safe for the moment. In comes Dazzle again, lands a poison. This one on the Rubik. Do they have enough damage? Mini in some trouble. Wants to go for Luna, but Luna gets another kill. That's a double kill for her. Has to back off right now. Only has one Tango left. And in the meantime, Ace is gonna get picked off because Rustby never really left. Crystal Maiden only got Frostbite. Can't get in range for it. 3 kills on this bottom lane. Everybody so incredibly low apart from Sand King. But no kill go the way of Meteor Makers. All 3 kills go the way of neXt, please. Very strong fight from them. And if I'm honest, I would expect at least the bottom lane to have the first blood. But of course it was a great rotation from the Dazzle to make sure that the Storm died before he hits level 6. It's so important to try and slow him down at that point, because then he doesn't have an escape yet. Now he does. Now he just turned level 6. And on the bright side for neXt Please Gaming, I mean, yeah, Invoker, he got the first blood, great levels, great, but Invoker overall needs more to be able to have a big impact on the game than the Storm Spirit, or at least Invoker has a longer ramp up time. Takes longer for him to be as active in the game. Let's face it that way. Phrase it that way. Sand King might be nah, he's okay. Dazzle level 4 in the meantime. Oh, sorry if you hear that. That's someone outside thinking he can drive very fast on the street, which he can't really. Exists 22 for 9 right now, 24 for 6 on the Storm Spirit. So last hit it's fairly even. I kinda like it for both players, but again, I think it's a better situation for the Storm Spirit, apart from him dying, but the fact that he's not really getting shut down next to that kill, next to that death for him rather. It's gonna be okay. We have Mini coming in again with an Invis rune this time. Doesn't look like he's gonna try to go for this mid lane again, not with the Storm Spirit at level 6, and not without his Shadow Poison sitting at level 2 only. He needs to have level 4 for an actual disable, as he is rotating top. The top lane where Red Light came in as well. And they're going in. Crush comes out as well. Where's that lift? Rubik is not close enough to help out. Luna tries to do what she can. She knows she's gonna die, but perhaps she can make something happen in return. Dazzle though. Dazzle the one to live for the moment. Oh, the Crush comes out. Rubik, is he gonna be getting help? Is he gonna be able to do something against his Dazzle? Still no, he cannot. But in comes the Vortex. Dazzle's still alive. Now he only gets dropped here. Storm zipping forward. Tornado comes in though, stopping Storm. And with the EMP, there's no way that he can get out of this anymore either. Can they slow him down? There is a poison up on Dazzle, but he doesn't get in range anymore. And Kayano is just fine, but it's 2 heroes dead in the top lane. Luna rotating top. Probably not the best idea that she ever had. We do have, of course, therefore, the Elder Titan now on this bottom lane.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Elder Titan trying to make Viper's life a bit miserable. Viper who's level 5. Almost level 6 though.
Dire's top tower.
And normally when you see Vipers on safe lanes, they go for fast mechanism or something like that. I'm wondering if this is Ace is going to do the same thing, considering that he is actually, with his death, he lost a lot of gold. Ooh, teleport in for this top lane. They want to be able to deny their tower. Perhaps get a Burst Strike in. Is there enough range? Burst Strike only level 2. Perhaps he can at least get exist. Yes, he can. He still has a Crush though. In comes the Eclipse. The Creep Wave is there to tank some of the Eclipse up. Is there a lift? Yes, there is. The Crush comes out still on the on the Sand King, and the Zap gets the Slardar. Mini will still drop as well. The Grave, of course, used for his teammates. As Red Light gets blocked in by creeps. Invoker though doesn't care. Invoker just wants to go for the supports. Doesn't get the Rubik. Thinks he gets a kill, but the stick charges keep him up. Maybe Luna is the one to die. He cannot get out of this. He is completely trapped, and his teammate's not there to save his life. Easy kill for Exist. Meantime, bottom lane, teleport out. Interrupted by the poison, and Synergy will drop. Now overall is the safest strategy. If you're up against the Viper, you can just, the moment that he ults on you and you think that you're gonna die, wait a second, Crush, Kayano, Frostbitten, oh, so dead, so very dead. Kills all over the place. It is 6-5, explosive game. A very explosive game, and it's important to get explosive as well, because Meteor Makers, both Slardar and Viper, are 2 of those heroes that need to be doing well early on. Now I'm hoping that Unicorn is going for Blink Dagger on his Slardar, because that just can continue his aggression a bit more. For neXt Please, I mean, they have got a Luna, of course, who needs a lot more time, or needs maybe, you know, needs a BKB before really starting to get into the game. A bit of a harder carry, though, considered or compared to Slardar as well as Viper. If she is enough to carry this game later on, and with help of the Elder Titan and the Storm, of course, I'm not so sure. I think that neXt, rather, neXt please, wow, did I say that a lot already? neXt please gaming, thank you. I think that neXt please needs some very good team fights before they can actually start getting ahead compared to Meteor Makers. Meteor Makers do have that Blink Dagger on Unicorn. The tier 1 tower on the top lane, of course, went down there as well. And they can leave that lane if they want to. Though if they do that, they give a lane to neXt please for free farming. And that's something that Luna will gladly use. I like the Invoker build, going straight for Orchid. Not bothering with 4 staff or anything like that. No, Orchid knows that that Storm Spirit is gonna be a nuisance. Storm Spirit is the one to draw this game out late, of course, together with the help of the Elder Titan. And Storm is one of the playmakers, and if you can Orchid him up and kill him off, then that's, of course, a very good thing. Dazzle level 7. I'm interested, like, he is level 7 right now. And there's one thing I find interesting about his build. Because one of them was going to be that he didn't have his ulti yet, which he does now. But the other is that he actually opted to not go for the stun. Because at level 4 it stuns, at level 3 it's 100% slow. And I really thought he was going to want to have the stun, but he opted to go for a level 2 in Shadow Grave. Shallow Grave is of course increasing the range, increasing the decreasing the cooldown, increasing the range, decreasing the cooldown. There you go. I mean, it's great, but so far it hasn't really been all that needed.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Interesting build coming out for him for sure, but for now we'll see if it pans out or not. I mean, the slow is still pretty strong, and of course it still interrupts you from teleporting out. As yeah, it looks like they're gonna get this tower. I mean, the stomp comes out, but it's just delay. Elder Titan himself is very far away in the meantime. It's gonna be Invoker that they want to have. They Burst Strike in on him as well. No, the Tornado comes out first. Now the Burst Strike comes, and the Storm Spirit gets the last hit. Nicely done. Wow, nicely done. 3 versus 1. I mean, it would have been bad if they wouldn't get that kill, but just nicely done. Good coordination. They do lose, of course, a tier 1 tower bottom for that one. Luna, Aquila, and Threads. It's very important to see what's Red Light gonna build this game. And I was well, now we know, has got the Ogre Club, so he's going for BKB. There's basically 2 routes here. You can go for already the Helm of the Dominator, or you're going for the BKB straight. In this case, I do definitely agree with his item choice, because it just allows you to fight a bit more early. While if you're going for Helm of the Dominator, you're just showing that you're in for the long haul. You know, you're getting the extra sustainability for farming with the lifesteal, getting the extra armor as well. But BKB actually just allows you to stand there and fight. And press your R button if you need to. 4 heroes of Meteor Makers in the middle lane. They still have Slaughter farming on the top lane. On his way back mid though. On his way to help out his teammates. Is neXt please ready for this, is the question. Illusionist opted to go for Mana Boots.
Dire's middle tower is
This first item. Lately we've seen a lot of Sand King just going for Brown Boots and then Blink Dagger. But Mana Boots for him first still. Also helping out the Rubik with that and his teammates. Not just the Rubik, of course. Just all his teammates. Looks like Luna is already giving up this fight. Goes to top to farm. And MYM, I mean, what's stopping them from going in, right? Well, Tornado from Rubik stopping them for the moment, but really, they know that neXt please cannot fight at this point. For that, Meteor Makers is way too tanky, as actually we're gonna see Slardar maybe trying to find a way to jump in. They know he's there though. Nice stomps coming out from the Elder Titan. I mean, it does slow them down. It might not be super effective, but it slows them down, which is all you can do at this point. Just buy time for that Luna to farm up. And it will take some time. I mean, this is just 5-man Dota right here. There's no other way to put it. We don't have an Orchid ready just yet. We do have the mechanism for the Viper. I mentioned that is a strong item choice for a Viper safe lane. It just, if you're having a Viper carry, it means that you're going for mid to early game. He is a very early game carry. Where did he go to? Oh, he crushed some creeps. Very early game core hero that you have. And with the mechanism, it just allows your team to fight. And then they have the aura over the armor from the Dazzle. They've got the heals from the Dazzle if need be. They got everything working for them for the moment. Oh, they zip in. They go for Mini first. Can they take him down? Mini gets a shallow grave on himself. Will live. Maybe not the same for Luna though, as he will get picked up. There we go. Freezing Field coming out from the Crystal Maiden, doing quite some damage before he dies. But so far he's the only one to go down. There's already 3 heroes dead on neXt, please. All they got was a Crystal Maiden. And the rest doesn't even show that many signs of battle. They do show some, but it's not enough to stop them from going in. And they still have that Dazzle. They still have that mechanism. And they can actually still just rotate to the next tower if they want to. They've got the sustainability for it, so why not? More early game fighting items. Slardar finishing up his Vanguard. And indeed is trying to push out bottom right now. Why not? What's stopping them? Nothing whatsoever. They even... neXt, please, lost their Luna. The most important hero on the side of neXt, please, is the Luna. He needs to do well. He needs to be getting the BKB up so that he can actually fight later on. But for now, no. For now, he can't even show his face. Even though he did just show his face, but that cost him his life. But really, what are you gonna do about this if you're neXt, please, right now? Is this an outdraft? Is this purely saying, you know, neXt, please, your lineup sucks because you can't do anything right now? Or is this an outplay? I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. What outdrafted, I'd say, as well. It's just a very early game aggression kind of lineup on neXt, please. I mean, in terms of early game, all they kind of have is a Storm, which is countered by now having an Orchid up on the Invoker. EMP coming out, Luna might be in the wrong place, wrong time, gets an... oh, I see that. The Cold Snap and the... oh, the Soul Burn is actually not enough. He's gonna try to teleport out. Storm with the Vortex was enough to save his life. Very nicely done, very risky, but nicely done. In the meantime, talking about risky, Sand King showing his face near Unicorn is pretty damn risky, if you ask me. Just a crush to get him out of the Sandstorm, which is his escape, of course, as well as the Burrow Strike, but he can just blink after that, or haste after that, in this case. In the meantime, in the middle lane, we've got a Tornado up on the silenced up Storm Spirit, who will get picked up. Ace with the kill. Red Light has to go back inside his base. There's no other way for him. He needs to farm somewhere. He needs to find farm, but he can't do that. All the lanes right now are kind of pushed out in favor of neXt, please. And yes, I even say that for the top lane. But that's, of course, there's a Slardar there. The entire team of Meteor Makers was just now in the middle lane. And bottom lane is pushed out towards the tower as well. So yeah, they can't really go in.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And this is very surgical precision play from Meteor Makers. Because, I mean, they went middle for the tier 2 tower. Got the tier 2. Then backed off. Went to the tier 2 bottom. Got the tier 2 bottom, backed off, went top, got tier 2 top, and all that's left right now is, in terms of that, you know, that line of thought, you go for Roshan, you go high ground. And of course they've got a very good lineup for Roshan, because not only get they get more armor for themselves, but they can amplify damage the Roshan, in which case it would drop very fast. In the meantime, there is a denied tower. Crystal Maiden gave her life for that though, I think, because there is going to be some hate coming for her. Burst Strike misses, actually. She is trying to hide. She used her drum. She is running for her life. Used her stick charges as well, but will indeed get picked up. The Sand King poison in the end. Or poison. Sand. Storm is the one to do it. But, oh, Slardar. What are you doing there, buddy? What were you doing there? His team was no longer there. He was too aggressive. Well, without the Slardar, they can't do Roshan. Am I really still having the last hits up? I'm sorry, guys. Normally I switch it at 10 minutes, but... yeah, I'm not sure if you find that all too useful, though, this game. Because as you can see, I mean, there's just a big difference right now in gold. And I think you could have guessed that as well. Gold graph and experience graph also look quite in favor of Meteor Makers. Experience graph, not that much. But that is also because Meteor Makers has been grouping up as 5 a lot. And that, of course, makes them share the experience that they get. And if they then get towers but no kills, then that doesn't matter for experience graph. As long as they don't get kills, no extra experience. Illusionist. One of the heroes that has also got a potential to turn this around. If he just gets a Blink Dagger, he can get some brilliant Burrow Strike epicenters off perhaps, and then he can turn things around for his team. Elder Titan, sitting next to an Observer Ward, will now realize he's caught out. There's a tornado, there's no cold snap just yet. Can't really summon anything else, and it looks like Invoker kinda blew the gun on that one. If he just waited a bit for his supports, perhaps they would have been able to make something happen, but no. Roshan. Logical proceedings, as mentioned. Everybody is up again, extra armor, minus armor coming out on the Roshan, and that should be an easy Roshan kill for them. However, neXt, please, does have some tricks up their sleeve. First of all, they don't have a Luna anymore soon by the looks of it. The Eclipse came out, but she's out of mana and she will get picked up right there. First one to die, in comes Storm with the Vortex Exist, picked up, killed with his own amplified damage on there, as we have the Sand King running away from a Dazzle who will get this kill. Freezing field from crit. Oh my god, look at that damage, look! Crystal Maiden was just standing there casting or pressing R, basically hands off the keyboard. Look man, no hands. Boom, everybody dead on the side of neXt, please. And yes, Dazzle still picked up the Sand King. And yes, Exist might have died, and without the amplified damage on the Roshan, it's not going as fast. But they're still strong enough to take it. 5 heroes dead, Roshan in the hands of Meteor Makers. And neXt, please, I thought like maybe they're gonna try and snipe the Roshan. Maybe they're gonna try and you know, stomp with the Elder Titan Astral Spirit and then go in on that one. But no, they went in with from two different sides. They almost got the Slardar, has to be said, like straight away. Almost got him straight away. But the Grave was there to keep him up for a little while longer, and that made them just take extra time to kill him off, and then things got turned around quite fast. As Crystal Maiden actually realizes now that there's vision of the high ground. We'll pay for that. Pay for sticking around. Yeah, she realized there was vision, places sentry, and yeah, there's the Observer, but they have to have a person there. They don't have anybody there right now. Without Crystal Maiden, I think that Meteor Makers is gonna probably... Well, I was gonna say, oh, that poison actually... No, it did not hit. Meteor Makers is probably gonna wait a bit with pushing in. I'm not sure if I'm right though, because they're already here, and Blink Forward and Crush up on the Storm Spirit, who will zip himself away. The thing is, right now, I mean... Yeah, BKB, important item, right? So, Luna goes for BKB. We also have the Storm going for BKB. And... yeah, they have got a mechanism on the other Titan, but who is doing the damage on their team? Where's that gonna come from? Because everybody went for such defensive items. Nice Blink. Unicorn. Awesome. BKB done on Luna. Vortex coming out on the Dazzle. Will get picked up, but perhaps Ace can do something in return. Ace, though, completely cut out. He is not close by his team, and he will get picked up. Nicely done. Has, of course, an Aegis. In now comes Crystal Maiden, but the epicenter comes out, and Crystal Maiden already dead. They go for Ace. They get Ace as well. It's 3 heroes dead. They didn't even need to use the BKB for that. Just Meteor Makers out of position. Meteor Makers make a mistake. Meteor Mistakers. Oh, I had to say that. But yeah, they shouldn't have been there, and they die. And they pay for it quite costly, because they actually lost their Aegis for that one. And we see that the pings come out. The blame game is on. Or just the discussion of what could have done differently. But both Dazzle and Crystal Maiden ping on bottom lane. But because for my point of view, I would suggest like Meteor Makers, they you know, they got the Aegis and now group up as 5 and go for high ground. But they did not group up as 5. They basically just got, I don't know, they got cocky, I guess. Going 2 on 5 against enemy team. Yeah, that's not working out. Not working out at all, actually. Slardar almost having his BKB ready, though. Perhaps they want to now wait for that one. But the longer they wait, the more time they give neXt, please. And that time is good for Sand King, because now he has a Blink Dagger. Good for him. Let's see what he can do with that one. Yasha being built up by Luna. I mean, they really need some extra damage, and attack speed is also one of those because, I mean, she got the levels. She has got also even maxed out Moonglaves. So yeah, the levels are there, just needs the attack speed and damage right now. Yasha is a very cost-efficient item for that. For stuff being built by Rusvi, but he's, yeah, you can't really say too much about supports this game on the side of neXt, please, because they kind of, like, normally supports get their gold from just the gold that you get, you know, of course, by default, but also the tower gold, and there's only one tower down on the side of Meteor Makers, which was denied. Well, this smoke is not going to end well. This smoke is not going to end well at all, actually. As in, well, it's not going to end bad, but they kind of are going to get forced back into their base. Because everybody is here on the side of Meteor Makers. Let's see how they do. The extra armor is already up for Meteor Makers. Elder Titan goes for a stomp. Only hits on Unicorn. Unicorn, who still didn't finish up his BKB, by the way. But so far, they're not getting stopped just yet. Look at how perfectly positioned this is for Blink Dagger Epicenter. Illusionist is the one to do it here. We're gonna have to wait for him to start channeling. I have him selected just so I don't miss it. Because he's gonna be the playmaker right now. He is gonna be the one to turn this all around. Meteor Makers waiting for the next creep wave. Sand King preparing. He's full on mana, full on life, full of fighting spirit. Let's see what he can do. If Meteor Makers group up like that again, that's gonna be the best burrow strike of his life. Come on, Sand King. They take down the tower. Another stomp comes out. This stomp actually is counterproductive. Oh, Eclipse! In comes the Epicenter. Now it comes a burrow strike up on 2. It is gonna be the triple kill with the Epicenter. The Sand King does it. Ace is gonna get picked up there as well. And the last one, the crit, is not gonna live through this either. That's a complete team wipe. And they only got a tier 3 tower. 5 people dead. And Sand King, MVP, with a burrow strike, a blink dagger, and an Epicenter on your side. Especially a surprise blink dagger. Well, I think that Meteor Makers is kind of surprised about that one. And perhaps this is the comeback that neXt Please was hoping for. All of a sudden, Luna's farm doesn't look too bad anymore compared to the highest one on Meteor Makers. She's got 1400 gold next to her Yasha. And they pick up a tier 1 tower mid up as well. And that's actually very important because tier 1 tower, a very important strategical point. If Meteor Makers is going to push in again, and it's going to be the buyback game, well, you can't really do that anymore because the tier 2 tower is, or tier 1 tower is great to teleport to, tier 2 a lot less than that tier 1 tower in the mid lane. And also, of course, the Roshan advantage that you normally say that the Dire has was now in hands of Radiant because of that tier 1 tower middle, but right now it's back to even. If you look at the Roshan on the minimap, it basically is about the same, well, sorry, it's about the same space from from the tier 3 to the tier 2, basically. Roshan is in the middle, so yeah. I think they're gonna be very happy with that result, as they still now know that they have some fighting chance. And you know, the thing is also, if you're thinking about momentum and about mentality, if you get shut down so hard the whole time and everything goes against you, oh Rubik, why are you there? Why were you there? Well, that's Rubik dead. But if you're gonna be, you know, if you're shut down completely the whole time, then your fighting spirit is gonna be pretty low. And you're kind of fighting like thinking, you know, we're gonna lose anyway. But after a fight like that, fighting spirit is back. And you've got yourself the confidence to fight again, to have regained focus. While Meteor Makers might actually be a bit lower, as there is no backdoor protection. Because the middle lane was pushing in a bit, and they go for top lane. They go for the Rex Burrow Strike into the trees. Sand King has got a blink, has got an Epicenter, doesn't have a Burrow Strike just yet though, and they know he's there, which is of course a big difference. But let's see, in comes the Eclipse. The Epicenter here as well. Burrow Strike up on 2. It is Exist and Ace. Exist gets saved for the moment, but will still go down probably after that. Freezing Field coming out from the Crystal Main, but gets picked up. 2 heroes left alive, 1 hero left alive, and it will be another team wipe. neXt Please Gaming, they are punishing Meteor Maker so hard. And this is twice that they do the same thing. 2 times in a row, Illusionist is making it happen. Yeah, of course, he is not the one to initiate. He is the one to go in, perfectly timed. When the Luna walks in with her Eclipse off, he jumps in. And I love that, like, you know what, he's standing right there, right? So personally, if I, like, that's why I'm not a professional player. So if I were the Sand King, I would jump right here and Burrow Strike there. No. He jumps here with his Blink Dagger, then sees where the targets are, and then Burrow Strikes wherever the most targets are. It's brilliant. It really is brilliant. And it's all of a sudden, I mean, Goldgraph does not lie. This is pretty damn scary for Meteor Makers, because if Next Place Gaming can hold on while there's 14k gold in favor of Meteor Makers, imagine what they can do when they're even. Imagine what they can do if they are actually ahead, which they will be if they take down the last outer 3 towers that they are of course still behind. However, it is still, I mean, it is still pretty scary. Meteor Makers has still got a very scary lineup, and the reason the Next Place is getting ahead right now are the team fights. In theory, it's very easy to stop these team fights from happening. Meteor Makers can split push if they want to, but you know, you don't just bang your head against a brick wall and it does not budge, right? As Roshan is not yet up, will be 1.5 minutes or so. Like, so experience graph, by the way, that's of course way more in favor of Next Please Gaming, because when my Meteor Makers were ahead, I already mentioned that it was only because, you know, they are kind of starving Next Please Gaming. And they, of course, were not getting as far ahead as you'd expect them to. Oh, crit. Getting zipped in and upon. Force Staff is still there. Force Staff by his teammate. But I'm not sure if it's enough. Maybe Unicorn. Unicorn gets lifted though. And the BKB on the Storm Spirit is there to try and help out. The Grave comes out for Unicorn. Is it going to be enough? Storm doesn't really have that much mana to zip forward. And with the haste up on Slardar, he should be able to get away. Actually teleports himself into safety as the Sand King looks for Crit, who is still alive at the moment. Nobody has actually died in this engagement. A lot of BKBs were used that day, and Viper in the meantime is already back on top lane. Now on the bright side, Illusionist did not use his epicenter, did not use his, well, the rest doesn't matter, did not use his epicenter. So that is going to be something that they still have to get back into this. But they cannot afford to lose more. The Orchid is there. Storm gets Force Staff by the Sand King, saving lives. Telekinesis comes out from the Rubik and the Freezing Field as well, just to try and help out. But it does cost Rubik his life as Sand King actually comes in. Crystal Maiden still goes down. Storm Spirit on the back though, getting picked up. Viper making that happen. Viper, who's not looking for a target, he's looking for an escape. He can't find an escape. The buybacks are there. There's 4 people dead on Meteor Makers. Again, the only one alive is an Invoker who went in his Ghost Form and got the hell out of dodge because he is mighty fast in that Ghost Walk. But that is again 4 people dead on Meteor Makers, and the buybacks for Storm, for Rubik were used, but were used with reason because Roshan is up. And if they get a Roshan, this is going to be their first Roshan that they get, and it will make a big difference. They are already winning team fights without Roshan. I have to check, by the way, for a second, as I am casting something else in a moment. There we go. I just got word, like, if you're here to watch Empire vs Power Rangers after this one, which starts in approximately 10 minutes, you can be, you know, be restful. I don't know how to say that, but doesn't matter. Because that game is going to be slightly delayed because Power Rangers is still playing in the Gigabyte Challenge, so be patient. Patience is a virtue, and you can just relax. Relax, you're doing fine. Meteor Makers. Oh, they really have to think of some other strategy right now because this is just bad. They keep running in head first and they just don't get it. Maybe they get it now. They smoke up. But next, please, look at how careful they are. They see that there's only one hero on the minimap, which is a Crystal Maiden. Now, imagine you're a professional player, right? So you know that your enemy team has 5 players, granted, everybody knows that, thanks. And there's a Crystal Maiden on your side of the map, pushing in a lane towards your tier 3 tower, or towards your base, tier 3 tower is gone, and the Crystal Maiden is by herself, farming by herself. Now do you really think that they don't know where that entire team is? I don't. Red light. Looking for people. They zip forward. They find themselves the Dazzle. BKB turned on by Storm. It is Dazzle that is graving himself. Lives to see another day. He was just buying time though. He's buying time for his team to escape. Dazzle will die. The rest of Meteor Makers looks to be... I was gonna say it looks to be backing off, but it looks like they're actually gonna jump in. They don't have a Dazzle, they don't have the Grave, blink in the Crush. BKB out by Unicorn. In comes the Earth Splitter though, and that's gonna hit upon 3 heroes right there. It is Sand King that's already dead, but it doesn't matter. There's a triple kill for Red Light, an ultra kill for Red Light. There is only 1 hero left alive. Blink forward. Unicorn is the only one of his team that lives. Meteor Makers, this time they were the ones to engage 4 on 5, knowingly. The only thing that they did not have to worry about was the BKB on the Storm Spirit. That is the only thing that could be the reason, like, oh my god, guys, Storm Spirit doesn't have his BKB, go in now! I don't see it happen. I don't see it happen. And we did not see it happen either, because they just lost 4 heroes on the cost of, or on the price of 1 Sand King, and it's not worth it. They're gonna lose a tier 2 tower. The gold graph keeps dropping. The experience graph plummets. I'm not even gonna say dropping because this is just very, very painful for Meteor Makers now. On the right side, they still have a buyback on Invoker, a buyback on also the Viper, so they've got some fighting chance as we are seeing their courier picked up. And yes, ooh, a gem. That's a nice price. Was that the only thing that he was carrying? Oh, Invoker wants to have his gem back. Cold Snap coming out. Rubik already silenced up. Yep, gem's back. It was the only thing that the courier was dropping as carrying as well. But yes, that was funny. Oh god, this game, people, I like really, if you asked me half an hour ago, I'd say, you know what, this game's over within just a couple of minutes. But then next, please. Then Sand King with the Blink Dagger happened. Sand King with the Blink Dagger. That's all you need. All you need is that. I don't know if that's a Dutch song or not, but it's I don't think it is. It's happening. It's happening, guys. Sand King Blink Dagger. That's the moment everything turned. That's the moment everything changed. Meteor Makers, surprisingly having a Crystal Maiden farming in the enemy woods now without backup. But they have to rethink their plan. I mean, Smoke Gank. They tried that. Didn't find a target. But also, next, please. They're playing this really, really smart because they still are not the team to really initiate. They have to catch Meteor Makers out on mistakes, which they have been doing time and time again. Granted, so that does happen, but they're not strong enough yet to run in 5-man head first to try and take down Meteor Makers, and they know that, so they just farm, try to be safe, and face Meteor Makers when Meteor Makers is the one to make the first move. Now that Meteor Makers has done that quite a few times, I think we're not going to see that that much time, or do they? Unicorn lifted, he has a BKB, but he doesn't even get a chance to use it. Gets picked up, Eclipse comes out, and Crystal Maiden drops as well. 2 people dead in the jungle of neXt, please. It's just, you know, it's frustrating. It is frustrating. You can feel the frustration coming out of Meteor Makers. This Luna that was so poor for such a long time. Highest net worth on the map, no problem. Ace. Having a problem for sure. Turns on his BKB, but the right-click damage will still go through. Gets a Grave, keeps him up, and they actually back off. A Storm Spirit is taking a large beating still from the poison, also from the Dazzle, but he does have an Aegis, so he's not too worried. He's actually trying to pop the Aegis because he's out of mana, and he doesn't want to be out of mana. And the Aegis was about to disappear in 30 seconds anyway, so he is back up to full. He gets Orchid the moment that he gets up, though, and he gets forced up forward by the Rubik, who gets away in the shadow, the Ghost Walk, rather. I mean, they got a tier 3 tower, that's all. Fair enough. No racks. But they got a tier 3 tower, backed off afterwards, used their Aegis. Fine. Is that a Beatles song? Oh, I didn't know. Sorry, people. Then everybody should know that. All you need is SK. Yep. Smoke up. Let's see what they can do. Everybody smoke. into the dire jungle. Now the thing is, if Meteor Makers win a big team fight, there are buybacks up on 4 of neXt Please's team. And right now there's nobody there for neXt Please's team because everybody went into the fountain. So even if they win a big team fight, they still are not finishing the game with it. Well, just a moment ago, 15 minutes ago, it was that if they would win a team fight, they would win the game. And now it's not even like guaranteed that they will win a team fight if they catch neXt Please out of position. Meteor Mistakers. I wouldn't say it's a throw per se for Meteor Makers. It's just strong play from that Sand King. That one team fight changed around so much and allowed neXt Please to also fight in other team fights. And then Meteor Makers, that was definitely a mistake / throw. The Meteor Makers made the same mistake again by getting caught out the same way. Again, Crystal Maiden teleports herself out just in time. Now this game is not over, it's far from over. Better yet. But it's downright scary for Meteor Makers. Gold graph. Now in favor, pause coming out by the looks of it. Oh, there we go. Gives me a time to check with the admins on the timing for Empire versus Power Rangers. Sorry for the typing sounds. I know that they're loud. But yeah, pause for next KZ or next please. I really wonder how many times I've actually caused them next KZ rather than next please gaming. And they have proven that they are the real neXt gamers. Because they beat next KZ in the loser bracket of the Artwide Festival. Sorry, I just typed in the chat. Hope that people don't think that the game is over already. But yeah, it's neXt Please Gaming taking on Meteor Makers. Loser bracket Yardwide Festival. Winner will continue to move on to Phase 4 FC. And then, I mean, then they're still not out of the woods. They're still having 2 more games in the loser bracket before. Like in total, I believe 3 more games for the one of these teams in the loser bracket to be able to make it to the finals. I hope this pause is over soon. I always think that it disrupts a game a lot, not just for a cast point of view, but also for the players. Like, you're so high in momentum right now in terms of game flow. I hope that won't affect them too much. Sand King sitting on 2,900 gold. Like buybacks, the later this game goes, the more important the buybacks will be, of course. Wow, he's actually answering a phone. Yeah, Mom, everything's fine, Mom. No, Mom. I have time to talk right now. Oh, really? What's the latest news on the market? For one guy's mom. Yeah, Elder Titan is a mighty filthy rich actually, sitting on a 4,600 gold. 4,600. I mean, he can buy anything you want. I would actually like to see an AC better than a Shiva's. Mostly because he's already giving his team, or he's giving the enemy team a bit of an armor boost, or a bit of an armor lack, of course, with his natural order. And the Dazzle, of course, gives extra armor to his team as well. So if you can take away some of that armor, that goes a long way. And of course, if you can give your teammate some armor as well. 1,600 gold for the Rubik. He'll probably not buy anything for a while. At least not when he wants to have buyback. 4,200 gold for the Storm Spirit. Seems to be going for a Scythe of Ice. And Luna. Can't really buy anything just yet, but goes for Satanic after Helm of the Dominator, of course. And I say that she can't really buy anything yet because, like I said, buyback, important. You need to have the buyback money in your inventory. Yeah, Mom, everything's okay, Mom. No, Mom. Yes, Mom, I'm eating healthy. Yes, Mom, I had a orange today. No, Mom, I'm not doing drugs. No, Mom, I'm not smoking. Yes, Mom. Oh, Dad. Yes, Dad. No, Dad. Yes, Dad. I don't know what guys talk about with their dads. Like, I talk with my dad about everything, but I don't know what guys talk about with their dads. Yeah, Dad, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I know what moms say. What does Dad say? But fucking hell, you're not gonna pause in the middle of a game and talk to your dad. Like, you can't do that in 15 minutes time, right? Sorry. It's frustrating, especially if there's another game waiting.
No.
There we go. Sorry for that outburst. But I would hate to miss another game because someone else calls with his dad. I'm sure you'll understand. And there, oh, good. Do you already have that in the courier? Ah, I didn't know. No, he didn't. He wouldn't have the gold for it, right? Would he? No, he didn't have the gold for it. So yeah, I like that he bought an AC. You've got a lot of people straight into action. And this Rubik will instantly fight. Like, he has a Ghost Walk. So yeah, there we go. That's already going to be a Dazzle lifted up. No time for the grave. He'll get picked up. Monster kill for Red Light. Going for bottom lane. Not really the lane where you would expect them to go, considering there are still towers standing there. 2 towers actually, tier 2 and tier 3. Rather than them going middle and going for tier, or going for Rex rather. But they're gonna get forced back into base because Crystal Maiden is pushing. Together with Invoke. We already have the Luna teleporting back, so she'll be forcing that back. But they got some gold, I guess. I mean, they just wanted to go for the tower, get some solid gold up. As Roshan will soon be up as well, a minute's time. Both teams will want to have it. Both teams cannot afford to kind of give it. I don't. Yeah, either team. I don't think they can give it up unless they're going to assume that their enemy team makes mistakes. Which they can't. You can never assume that your enemy team makes mistakes. The Illusionist is sitting in the Roche pit. He knows it's going to be there soon. He is going to be the human ward As I say that, he jumps out. But yes, he's going to be the first one to see the Roshan because in it comes. 3,500 gold in his inventory. Like, where is his... Yeah, they see him. Where is his Veil of Discord is what I wanted to say. And now that the Sunstrike duration is over, the Roshan actually appears. So now they can actually take down a Roshan. I think that they're going to have a short grace period in between. Yeah, 13 seconds. There it is. Where's the pings? Did he not check? Because everybody of Meteor Makers is there right now. They will take the Roshan. They will know that they will go. The Spirit is still there. Oh, the Titan will find. Now they're going. Oh no, now comes the pink. The pink comes out. Sand King actually did not see the gigantic beast that was standing next to him. That's interesting. But now they're here. The smoke is up for Meteor Makers. 4 of them anyways. The Viper is greedy, wants to still attack some. Red Light is already inside the Roche pit, however. And he has his teammates to back him up. Pincer movement coming out from Meteor Makers. The only one that they could potentially find is the Elder Titan. Another Titan does not have any mobility yet, and he finds the Crystal Maiden. He's gonna be the first one. Then comes a Frostbite, the Clap as well, and that will be Elder Titan picked up perhaps. But Burrow Strike Epicenter only up one Invoker, and Invoker just BKBs Tornadoes, gets himself out of there. Dazzle going for the heal. In comes the Orchid. Luna already killing off the Viper. Sand King getting some help because Luna comes in, or BKB on cooldown, but it doesn't matter. In comes a Crush from Unicorn again. This time on the Luna, but he should be able. Luna rather should be able to stay alive. Indeed they do. So far as Viper and Crystal Maiden that got picked up. Unicorn is gonna be falling soon, I think, or not. Gets Grave, at least gets 1 kill before he'll go down, because down he shall go with 1 more hit. 14 health. Can he actually live through that? Mini will save his life. He makes it out. Slaughter makes it out barely, but he does. Dazzle dies. Invoker does not die, but it's still only Elder Titan that dies on the side of neXt Please. And it is 3 dead on Meteor Makers, and that means that neXt Please Gaming will get the Roshan. And that was what they were fighting about all along. Invoker, they know he's there. They do know he's there. Do they have any? They don't have detection? They don't have detection. That's horrible. No, they have detection. Sand King has detection. Yeah, Sand King has to jump. There he goes. Burrow Strike. Invoker dead. It was very simple. Very clean. And Luna with the Aegis still. That's gonna be 3 still dead. Invoker dead for a very long time, actually. For a full minute. And he does have buyback. I'd say try and force it out. This is the time. There goes your Veil of Discord. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But now with the Aegis, like, I was expecting them to just go all 5 all mid and force out at least a buyback, but they're actually roaming around in the smoke, partly smoked, trying to find a Slaughter, who's hiding. He has a Blink Dagger as well. He should be okay. Yeah, he should be okay. He's fine. Yeah, I'm surprised to see them not going with full 5. Actually, Luna did get forced out of her BKB and Manta style, got harassed upon by the middle lane, but yeah, now they need to wait for that again, I guess. Although BKB is down to 4 seconds, so that duration is going to be very short. They don't need to wait all that long. Need to wait longer for the Manta style. Armor is already up on Meteor Makers. It's a bit of a cat and mouse game by this at this point of the game. neXt Please, in a way, right now the cat, purely because of the Aegis. But if they get caught out, if someone's get caught out of position, they can just as easily turn into the mouse. It's 40 to 22, by the way. Just something I wanted to point out, because for a long time, Meteor Makers had, of course, the favor of the fights. And the last fights, even though they're like I said, they're not out of this fight, out of this game just yet. They have lost most of the fights, or at least had unfavorable trades number-wise, and that results into it being 22 to 40, as we have an AC up for the Slaughter. Good for him, and good for his team as well.
Top tower is under attack.
And right now, 5 people of neXt Please going top. There's only 1 tier 2 tower left standing. It is there. And could be that they back off straight after. I would actually not put it past them, but they've got the Aegis, they've got the Manta style illusions. I would like to see them just, you know, send those illusions high ground and actually send them high ground towards the ranged racks on the mid lane, right? But no, they're just gonna take care of the creep wave. As Viper continues farming. Three minutes with the Aegis. Red light is going very ballsy here up the high ground. They come forward, they get the Dazzle for the moment, but Dazzle gets a 4-step out. BKB for Unicorn, tries to go for the Sand King, but Sand King can get himself across the across the ledge. Still getting chased down though, and the Hex is there. Unicorn, he does not have any protection, he'll die. Dazzle already bought back after dying. We have got the Ruby picked up as well. Went a bit in too far, but Luna's still alive. Her Aegis is as well. Just going for the buildings now. Getting rid of some of the illusions of the Viper. Mana burn as well. Vortex actually up on Unicorn. If he gets picked up here, that will be huge. Epicenter comes out as well, but he'll get saved by the Grave. Still can force-staff himself forward. Sand King drops as well as his gem. And it is Invoker that lives, but the Rax will die. The Aegis will finally get taken here for Luna, and she has to get herself out of there. She doesn't have a BKB for another 7 seconds when she gets on. Does have her Satanic, and will actually get saved by the Earth Splitter coming through. Perhaps can make something happen here as well. But the BKBs, there they are again. TP out for Luna straight away. Got the Rex, got what they came for, not risking anything more there. Storm Spirit out of mana though, has got a BKB, but has got no mana to go anywhere. And will get picked up 3 dead. On the side of neXt, please. Aegis of course used, and only 1 buyback for Meteor Makers, but even though they won this fight, which is probably the first fight in a long time that they actually won, they still lost Rex. So yes, they still lost in a way that fight, regardless of winning the fight. They're gonna try to go on right now though. Maybe they can force that out at least a buyback, as there is a buyback on the Storm Spirit. That would be worth it. To just get rid of that. Luna going for some extra damage. There's a Daedalus that she's building. She has it complete if she wants to, actually. Wants to also, of course, have buyback, as I keep talking about buyback. Yeah, still important. Poison Nova, still on. Luna might be in some trouble. No, ooh, minus armor for the Rubik. He has to be careful. The buyback not used. Important to note. Storm did not buy back. He still has it for the next fight if he needs it. And there will be a next fight. At least one. Maybe more. 14k gold in favor of neXt, please. Same position where Meteor Makers earlier this game was. Like, I was thinking, what am I hearing? But you're hearing Slardar illusions. He's taking care of a creep wave. This is free gold for Slardar. Pretty decent, because now this entire wave can push in, because there's only 1 range creep that will try to defend. I guess Crystal Maiden could teleport out from the top lane. She's the one with the gem now, as of course Sand King lost his in the previous fight. Luna. Get some backup. Long zip in from Kayano and Mini. Ooh, he has a grave for himself if he needs to. The tornado saving him. He's gonna try to teleport out, but the Burrow Strike will stop him and he will get dropped. So his team has completely abandoned him. Dazzle did buy back previous fight, so he is gonna be dead for a long time. 70 seconds. Which could be enough time for neXt, please, to actually make it to the bottom lane and maybe take down tier 3 tower. And if Meteor Makers overextend, well then they can take more. No Aegis this time though. But Red Light makes sure that he is not going to have an empty slot. No, he has a Daedalus instead of an Aegis, which is definitely very strong as well. And he still has buyback. He has Manta style illusions as well. Can just send them home. He's going for Exist already. The Vortex is there as well. Eclipse coming out. That's Invoker already dead. Burrow Strike, Epicenter coming out. Unicorn goes down as crit. He can't, like, he has a BKB, but it's not gonna help him against the damage coming out from neXt, please. Same thing goes for Ace's BKB. It's only a false sense of security. He tries to juke them out of their base, but it doesn't matter. He'll get picked up. 4 heroes dead. And the Evoker is back alive because he fought back, but it does not matter. The GG comes out. neXt, please Gaming is the team that will move onward in the loser bracket of the Artwhite Festival. They beat Meteor Makers in a very, very, very interesting fashion, which it can be considered a throw, but that Sand King just made a lot possible for that team right now. Well, we are gonna jump ourselves to a different tournament. We're gonna jump ourselves to the Join Dota League, where Empire will meet Power Rangers in a 2-game series. So stick around for that. We should be back here in only a matter of moments. Don't go anywhere.